Hi there. This is Liz from Augusta. I'm the operations manager at our Bellingham location, and I am the facilitator of communication for the team. I have been called by some as the heart of Augusta, others the heartbeat of Augusta. Now, as you know, we are in the landscape industry, and guys and their crew will talk, and I'm sure they have a lot of frustrations about me much of the time. I am the person who plans the projects once they've been accepted by the client, and I do all the routing and setting up of the mows. And because I've never been to the properties, of course, at times I'm going to mess up. So there's not one portion of any kind of job in our industry that can be done or anyone take credit all by themselves. Selling the job, getting it on the schedule, anything like that. We're completely dependent on one another to do our jobs. So unless you have good teamwork and a fantastic culture, what we do will never work. So I want to tell you a little bit about the last 2 weeks. And this is April 2020. And as you know, in our industry, it's the busiest time. It's also, in 2020, the time of the coronavirus, which only essential services can be done. So we have what's called a yellow slip system. So in the past, when the guys would mess up at somebody's house, break something, or do some damage or not do the job correctly, the customer would call back, and on the next route out to that place, I would just have someone else take care of it. Well, one day this was years ago when we developed the system, I would just write down, okay, we have to go take care of this one, go take care of this one. There were so many. And then Mike and I decided we need some sort of accountability where people take care of their own thing and go back and own it and resolve it with the customer themselves, because we're taking care of it and they never even know what happened. We have the expense or whatever. So I'm going to forward to now and tell you about a yellow slip is when we, if there's a damage, we put it down on paper and they go back and they take care of it. If it's a broken item, we purchase it and then they go back and take care of it. And they take the yellow slip with them. Once it's resolved with the client, then they talk to the team and they explain what happened and what we need to do next time to resolve it. So, okay, that's cool. So it has incredibly reduced the amount of callbacks we have because the guys, before they get in the truck, they turn around and take one last look and make sure they've got everything. And so we don't have a lot of that. Well, it's spring, it's busy, it's raining. There's a lot of jobs on the schedule. And I don't know if it was a full moon or what was up, but we had 7 yellow slips. And so it was challenging for me because it's also the time that we're doing treatments. So I have a treatment crew doing thatching, aeration, and weed and feed and lime. And some are overseeding and taking some soil. So I have that in a route. Plus, if that same client, let's say we're doing 20 treatments that day, if they have a mow, I also need to give them a mowing setup. So I'm not routing another crew there to mow, so that they're mowing and doing all the treatments and leaving. So this particular week, I have to buy the item they broke, try to match it up on Amazon or somewhere, and get the item. So let's say it's landscape lights. If they ran over one, typically you can't buy one, you have to buy a whole pack. So I had like that and multiple other things that had to be done. They missed areas mowing, left clippings, didn't blow off the driveway. There were several things that were broken and areas not missed by the client, and they had sent photos and all this stuff. So in order to even go back and take care of them, I have to route them in somewhere. Plus I need to make sure the person who did that, I want them to go back and own their own thing and not have somebody else do it. So I'm trying to be aware of that also. So this particular night, the guys had been breaking all these things. I'm dealing with angry customers, and we had these callbacks. And mind you, they're not huge items, but there's still something that you have to resolve with the customer to go forward and to keep the customer happy. And, you know, if we messed up, we need to take care of it. So this particular night, I was up most of the night. They had broken one of the cables on the trailer, which is pretty easy to happen when you have the back of the trailer that comes down and there's two cables on the side, and sometimes they run over them and break them. So I had a trailer completely out because they had broken them. We're also in the coronavirus time, and so a lot of businesses are closed. So my trailer guy only had one person on staff, and so he could only get somebody in. He had to order the thing, so I didn't have a trailer for a week. And that put me out like a whole route. So that means the guys are now having to mow huge properties with the trailerless setup with two of them. And there was no way we could get all the properties done because I had two trailers out. So I was trying to route all the yellow slips in to be resolved. Plus I needed a truck and a trailer extra for the treatments, and I had a trailer out. So I'm trying to make the routes be as least difficult as possible, which I always do for them. But here I'm so frustrated and pretty mad at them because in addition to trying to make them have nice routes, I'm also trying to fix their mistakes and cover their butts. And so I was so frustrated and pretty upset with them. But you have to detach as a leader, and you just take care of business. You get through it, talk it over, and it's done. However, after staying up most of the night and figuring it all out to try to get it all done, all the jobs done with the proper setups, with each person only having a few yucky routes because we didn't have the proper setups. If you come to work like that and you bring all that to work, it's gonna affect the whole day. Throughout the whole day, on all their jobs, I have 12 guys communicating with me. They're sending me messages. We need these notes on the jobs. They're putting notes on the jobs. There's issues. There's more estimates that are coming from their mows, which we like them to do to upsell the job. And so I need to be completely engaged with them. I need to be answering them when they call. When something breaks, I need to be with them in the mission for the day, completely detached from what I want and what I need. And I knew I was, number one, only slept 2 hours and was upset with them. So I thought, man, I gotta pull it together, and I've got to not show any negativity, or we're not gonna make it through this difficult day. And I had let them know on our team chat when I sent the schedule that there were gonna be some pretty unpleasant mows because we were trying to get all these properties done. So they were kind of pre-warned. So that's okay. And so they were glad for the kind of heads up that a few of them might have a couple that were not very good. So I thought I got to get it together. So about 5-something in the morning, I thought, okay, if you're really upset with somebody and you know that you can't express it or take it out on them, sometimes you just gotta lean into it and love them more and show them, like, yeah, stuff happens, stuff breaks, it's all you guys' fault, but it happens, and actually as the leader I should own it all. So it is still my thing to own all of this and get the jobs wrapped for the day. So to preface the day and to start us all off in a good way, I went and bought 2 huge things of donuts and made sure they had coffee and donuts and napkins and all this stuff. And so I put on the team chat. I'm so frustrated with you guys, but I decided to lean into it and love you all anyway. And I took a picture of the donuts and I said, there's donuts here for everybody. Make sure you grab one when you get here. So the topic of this talk is to lean in and love them anyway. You have to detach and you have to get through the day and you have to focus on the mission. And I promise you, it's called relationship capital. When you have invested that kind of time in them, then when you mess up and you make mistakes, they're gonna love you through it and they're gonna be there for you. If you're interested in hearing more about our franchises and a way you can connect with Mike to learn more about them, it's super important to go and really go through all the content first so that by the time you have a phone call with Mike, you can really learn more about the franchise for you yourself, specifically how it would work for you. If you want to be a part of what we're doing and growing and this great team culture that we have, we'd love to teach you everything. We love our guys, we love our team, and in the next episode, I'll tell you what happened this past week when I had to fire somebody. I hope you have an awesome day.